Perfect, 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 perfect.
What is going on, folks? We are back, 3BG at the movies, and
We're
I think
talking superheroes.
we can officially say that this is finally the start, I guess, of the summer movie madness. Even though we've had previous movies that have came out, but this is sort of like the big blockbuster.
Well,
movie of
that,
sorts.
and I would like to ask you one question, sir.
Mhm,
Since we are talking James Gunn's Superman,
mhm.
well, two questions. Number one, are DC movies finally healing, and is James Gunn on a roll with
Okay,
these movies?
I was actually going to get into that because I think that's something that's worthy of talking about when it comes to this movie. First and foremost, folks, the movie is really good. But going into your questions, I have always said this that and me and you talked about this with the Marvels to a point on this. And when Feige mentioned that they weren't going to be doing traditional origin stories, ironically enough, because of how fickle fans can be, they were feeling some sort of way because you had certain segments of fans like me and you that were like, okay, cool, thank you. We don't
Yeah.
need origin stories, right? And then you had other people's like, well, we kind of need origin stories because people don't know these characters. And I'm like, okay, but like, this was unpopular opinion online. When DC started off and they announced Zack Snyder was doing Man of Steel and it's going to be a Superman origin story, a lot of us, some of us that we were talking was like, you don't have to do an origin story for Superman. People know who Superman is.
Mm-hmm.
We know the background. It came from Krypton. Da 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 da. You don't need an origin story. We don't need to see the beginnings of Superman. But they let Zack Snyder do his thing, and the problem was you're going to Man of Steel, which is Superman's first day on the job, and then you leap into Batman v Superman, you kill him off, and I'm like, but we didn't have time with the
Dude,
character
it was
care about him dying.
It was more than that. It was the fact that we didn't even just get the movie. The movie didn't even let itself breathe all of Superman, because right in the middle of it, right towards the end of the movie, you see that giant W in that building, and I'm like, Wayne Enterprises was in Metropolis. I'm like, okay, and
So-
that right there already confirmed that Batman was there.
And it kind of created this just mess of DC movies. I'm not going to give revisionist history because, like I said, I still like.
No, they're definitely a mess.
Yeah, it was just a mess in terms of it sputtering into Justice League, and then the rest of the DC movies, you know what the deal is. So James Gunn, the bar is low, essentially. Not because we didn't think James Gunn could do good. We know it. He did 3 Guardian movies that were fucking phenomenal.
3 Guardian movies and a Suicide Squad.
And Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. So we know his pedigree. We know what he finds important. This Superman movie is really good because of a couple things. One, right off rip, he establishes this DC world as, number one, already having metahumans off rip. Mm-hmm. Metahumans and superheroes and villains are already existing in this world. And 2, Superman is just another cog in the wheel of metahuman heroes that exist on Earth, except he's just exceptional because he's Superman, essentially, right? So because this movie already within 2 minutes establishes this, boom, we're off to the races with Superman. And the movie does a really good job of telling you everything you need to know about Clark Kent, his family, him as Superman, his dynamic with the world and the other heroes. Off jump, and you're off to the races. And that's all you need to do. That's all you got to do.
What I really enjoyed was the fact that, like you said at the beginning, everything is established literally through just a series of text at the the
but even then,
just
seeing
and hold on, it's the series of text. And I said, okay, I didn't need anything. You didn't have to film anything else. Now that I know we are about to be dropped in the middle of this universe where everything is already established,
It's been Superman for a while too.
We are basically in their world. So this isn't something where we have to follow along and we got to see like 7, 8, 9, 10 different scenes of like origin and all this other
And
stuff.
what did
Like
Clark do in this first year of Superman? It's like, nah.
right, or we didn't have to get the opening of like Krypton about to blow up, and then he's being sent in the wrapped in his cape. We didn't have to see any of that, and
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah.
We show up what I like to call in the middle of a Wednesday afternoon of this of this particular moment where this movie starts, and what I and I'll just quickly say that what I enjoyed about this movie was the fact that it was just fun.
Yeah, it is
It's a
comic
lot
book.
on the table. It was definitely a lot on the table as far as characters and things that were happening. Like if you're not familiar with the lore of not just Superman but DC universe characters in general, it's gonna feel like a lot on your plate. But all you gotta do is just be familiar with the lore. If you're familiar with with the lore of Superman, his Rose Gallery, and all of his allies and other characters associated with Superman, you're gonna have fun with this. And that's what this movie was. It was fun.
Yeah, like
It doesn't try to take itself like overly serious like a lot of other superhero movies tend to do.
yeah,
It was literally us watching the Superman animated series as a movie.
it literally felt like an episode of Superman animated series. Like if you ever watch that show, later seasons there'll be episodes where it's like special guest appearance by Green Lantern or the Flash or
Yep.
Aquaman or Batman, and it's like, all right, what's the episode? What's this about? Where we have the Flash in it? Oh, that's the conflict. And this movie was every bit of like, you saw the trailer. We get Mr. Terrific, Hawk Girl, and Green Lantern as the Justice Gang working name, but like they don't supersede Superman's own movie.
They don't.
They
Everybody
just
has
exist as part of this cog of like, oh, they just
and,
happen to be there because
and,
Clark is, they're all heroes. They're all
and
part of the same game.
everyone also has their moment.
Yeah.
Like everyone has their moment to shine in this movie. I just want to say, first of all, the representation of Mr. Terrific, Chef's Kiss, loved it, loved it.
Man.
And DC, can I please get that Mr. Terrific jacket? That's all I want to know.
Let me tell you, like I said, the heroes that they showed didn't supersede Superman because it's still at the end of the day a Superman focused movie that shows not only how like important Superman is to the regular people that he saves, but also like how he kind of informs how the heroes view him and what he does. And it's really good just kind of seeing that. And then when we get old boy playing Lex Luthor, I love it because again, just like we established Superman and the metahumans and all that, the other half of it, we get Lex Luthor being established already as like this powerful force that hates the fuck out of Superman and
hated him for years.
And it's been building up to this. And again, it works because the movie, even though they tell you, they show you in terms of how Lex set up everything to fight Superman and get his ideas off the ground. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I'm with this. I get it. It works. And you don't need no origin story of Lex Luthor. He's just an evil asshole that's smart. That's it. That's all you need to know.
I just gotta say, I'm trying to find him. Trying to find the actor. I was trying to remember the actor's name that played Lex.
Nicholas Hoult. He played Beast in the X-Men movies, and man, it's what's his face that played Zuckerberg in
Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg. I felt like he was in a shitty situation because of just how in disarray WB was with the DC movies, because like I really was curious on what his Lex could have been, and we only got one movie. And I think because they were doing so much setup for that character and it never paid off, we were just kind of left with like, well, what the fuck,
And outside of whatever clips that they used to stitch in the Snyderverse where they brought him back.
Yeah, so it's just like in this instance, Nicholas Hoult as Lex, they're like, no, we're just going to show you Lex being the evil asshole that he is. And at the same time, because this world is already established, we can go in different places with Lex. We can go in different places with Mr. Terrific. Hawk Girl, Green Lantern in so many different ways that it just works. And even you get down to the Daily Planet and that crew, they're established too. We get all their different intricacies and stuff. I'll even go so far, like when you look at Lois Lane, love her. We establish her relationship with Superman, and Clark. We understand that dynamic. And again, it's off to the races on that. We get what's his face? I'm playing Perry White. My God, I forgot the dude's name from The Wire. Wendell Pierce.
Wendell Pierce.
Yeah, Wendell Pierce playing like Perry White. You don't really need to know anything. He just does like visual stuff, like the cigar, and him just like grunting like, okay, that kind of stuff. Even Jimmy Olsen, I forgot the kid that plays him. Like he's good in this movie. He's playing Jimmy, being the investigative journalist, just like Lois and stuff, and they all play a role in the whole plot line of this movie, and they work. And again, it works. It's funny. It's very much like out of the pages of a comic.
That was
how all these characters play out.
That was Skylar Gisondo.
Yeah, Skylar. Yeah. So like he's good. It's like everybody came to the table and played their roles the way you expect, even down to Frank Grillo playing Rick Flag Sr. And if you watched Creature Commandos, a little bit of Rick Flag Sr.'s like demeanor in terms of like how he's operating with regards to not only Superman but Lex. If you watch Creature Commandos, a lot of his performance kind of informs that. And even if you didn't watch Creature Commandos, his demeanor overall in terms of how he feels about metahumans is very much like he's in the middle. It ain't necessarily I hate metahumans, because it's like, dude, you work with a bunch of metahumans, with Amanda Waller. So like, what are we doing here? But like, I think even you kind of caught a lot of the details that this movie had. Like, what was it? Stag Industries.
Stag Industries. When I saw Stag Industries, I was like, oh man, there it is.
I mean, look, but that's the thing. Again, it's that world building in terms of like, you're throwing those in there. Cause like I said, you have Rick Flag Sr. being there. It's like, oh shit, Stag Industries. Well, clearly Batman's involved in this.
I was like,
in some way, shape, or form.
I was like, Stag Industries, and I was like, what's next? Tiger.
For those that don't know, Stag Industries is a building that resides in Gotham City. So exactly. So I think you can, part of Stag Enterprises, as they say. So you already know what the deal is with that. Like, so
I mean, like I told you, everything is like, this whole movie is there's a lot on the
world building's in the background and Superman is still at the forefront.
Yeah. It's more, and again, it's more of you're blinking, you're going to miss something. There's like, there were so many times that, we ended up being taken to like a certain scene in the movie where I'm like, okay, let me see if I can recognize something. Let me see if I can spot something here. Like, I'm paying attention to the movie, but there's stuff going on in the background that I know if I don't catch it, I'm going to miss it.
I mean, even to the point that the guy that's fronting the money, Maxwell Lord, is in this movie. James Gunn's brother's playing Maxwell Lord, and like just in that little small bit that we see him in the movie, it's like, oh, okay, cool. And again, it's like in any other instance, all that stuff would have been more of a distraction from the main movie of being about Superman. But like at its heart, my man playing Superman, David Cornsweet, like he does a really good job playing Superman and also Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Like that whole, just the way he plays Clark in that G. Willikers, Christopher Reeve-esque type stuff. And even the jokes about like the whole dynamic of Clark Kent and Superman is like at the forefront of this film as well. So I mean, Crypto steals the movie to me.
Oh, dude, the moment, first of all,
dog, as soon as that dog hits the movie, I'm like, well,
the moment the dog shows up and I said, and this movie just made like another $200 million.
This is Groot, except it's a dog.
It is. It's Groot in dog form.
And you can't be mad at the dog. It's like, that's a real dog. And I mean, granted, there's moments where it's like, yeah, that's CG clearly, but like, that's a real dog that they got for those.
The fact that the dog exists, I said, yeah, that's
toys is going to be
the toys was ridiculous. In fact, it was already ridiculous when we were at the theater. You know how when every time we go to these movie theaters and they have those special edition metal popcorn buckets and cups and stuff. So they had a special one where it came with a plush doll, like a plush doll of Crypto, and I guess a dog bowl. It was like a blue bowl for you to put your food in or whatever. And I'm like, they're already selling, like the movie's not even out yet, and they're already selling Crypto. And I think they wanted I think it was like almost $45-$50 for that thing.
Bruh, like just for no reason. It's like, all right, cool, like it's like I said, I think to
And
your
it was
second
cute.
question,
It was cute too. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like 50, 45, 50.
but like to your second question though about James Gunn, I think James Gunn, because he was part of the Marvel Studios sort of machine, there is a measure of him knowing the do's and don'ts of what needs to be done in the DC universe. And I think that's a good thing because you need that type of person, just like Marvel Studios needed Feige to kind of be that hand to kind of guide them. You need somebody like a James Gunn or just any person that can be like, all right, if we're going to do this, here's the way that we need to do it in a proper way that's going to get people to want to watch this and not roll their eyes like, ugh, because everything in place in this movie had a point. And like I said before, all the stuff with the world building that's in the film is very seamless and it doesn't take away from what this movie is. The movie's called Superman. So
Yeah.
all that stuff from the Justice Gang, Maxwell Lord, all these other background stuff that's happening, even when you brought up Stag Industries, it doesn't take away from what this movie is. It's about Superman at the forefront. And I think that's credit to the writing and not getting ahead of themselves and saying, see guys, look at the Justice Gang. Aren't they awesome? And it's like, yeah, cool. We're here for Superman. We're Superman.
Like, if it's anything, the movie just shows like, okay, not only has he been doing this for a while, but he clearly has friends.
Yeah, he has camaraderie with the Justice Gang and stuff. And I like that because it's just, they like him, but there's still that sort of like, they have a difference of opinion on how to handle stuff. And I mean, look, shout out to Nathan Fillion playing Guy Gardner because he nailed that fucking character to the goddamn T. Like, I fucking loved it so much. Visual effects are fucking phenomenal.
They were definitely up there as probably some of the best VFX I've seen in quite some time.
I think they did a really good job of emphasizing Superman's strength without, it's like you're showing how OP he can be, but you're not, when you show him fighting against somebody that's equal to him, you see the harm that can go to him. And I like that.
Yes.
It is just like, oh, I'm an invincible god. It's like, yeah, but when somebody's matching you, you're going to
we clearly get to see battle damage Superman, which is always awesome.
Oh yeah, it's always good. That's why, like you said in Isaiah, it's like the animated series, because the Superman animated series had moments where Superman was getting fucked up by somebody that would like really be in his weight class for a moment. It's like, oh shit, like he's actually bleeding or taking damage, battle damage, and things like that.
And sometimes it's up against someone who's not even a meta-human.
Yeah. So, I mean, yes. Go see this movie. It's and it goes by quick too, because this movie is like what, a smooth 2 hours, if that.
I want to say at least 2 hours or under 2 hours.
129 minutes, so that's 90. Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours and some change, pretty much. So
2:15.
Yeah, that's, I mean, again, but you don't even feel the 2:15. It just feels like it's so in and out. Like
it goes quick. It definitely goes quick.
Like, where it's like, the beginning, where the sort of middle of the movie hits, and then you get the third act. And it's like, all right, cool. So, even the music is fucking phenomenal. Like, they definitely were trying to channel that Christopher Reeves, dun, 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 dun,
like that. You hear, you would always hear the Superman theme, like in some way throughout this movie, and again, it's cool. It's Superman.
Yeah, you can't hate Superman. Like, how do you hate Superman? You can't. Like, it's just, come on. But yeah, go check out this movie, folks. You will love it. Can't wait to hear everybody's kind of chat about it because that segment of fans looking at you, Snyder Cult, that are gonna have to eat their words because they were swearing this movie's gonna be shit, and I'm like,
Oh man, all because of a photo. The photo of him putting on the boots. I've never seen an internet.
and I want people to. This
like
isn't
I've
even.
never like real talk. I've never seen the internet go into a full on frenzy over a picture.
I want people to understand. That picture of Superman putting his boots on as that thing is going in the background. It's not a spoiler, but it plays a role in the movie at one point, and it's fucking hilarious when you see it.
Yeah, it was when it happened.
I wasn't expecting it, but I had to double take. Like, hold on, is this the thing from the poster?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
like, this is
wow,
where. I
okay,
was like,
cool.
that when that scene came up, I was like, this is where it came from.
But the context in
And
the
it was
movie
perfect.
makes it so much better for it too. Because like the poster is just like, huh. So I guess he's preparing to go out to stop that thing. But in the movie, it's like, oh, okay, cool. I
But
got
you
you.
see what happens when people make so many assumptions just based off of a photo. And again, it's like it's not even promo material. If anything, it could have been just a production shot, and like you have no idea, the you don't even know like where all this is even coming from. This is just a picture that they took, and they say, "Hey, this is we're working on this movie,"
Yeah,
and just sit back for it. It really goes into the line that the Joker asked Batman in the Killing Joke movie. Every time I think about that picture and what happened through the internet, it just makes me think of that question of, do you know how many times that we've nearly gone to World War III over a picture of a flock of geese on the computer screen?
I mean, but that, like, you know what, that goes into this last thing before we go. I think the problem that certain creatives tend to do when they want to try to do, and even beyond just the creatives, just fans, some of the people, some of the fans, period, is that people tend to overthink Superman unnecessarily. Like, I felt Zack Snyder in his effort of trying to put his spin on Superman, I think he just overthought it too damn much.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of took away from whatever he was trying to do with Superman. Cause it's like that character dying in BVS, it's like I'm supposed to care that he died, but like it's the why. Why should I care that he died? So then when you get the whole everybody's doing the funeral for him and all that stuff, it's like, I don't care that he died because you never showed me, you never gave me a reason to give a shit.
Like off of one movie.
Yeah, and it's like this movie, you even because they firmly established everything with the character off rip, you're concerned like, oh man, is he going to make it, or is he going to be able to beat Lex? Is he going to do this? And you care in a fundamental way, and I think that's what was missing. It was just the aspect of caring. Like to tell me I should care doesn't do it for me. You have to actually show me why I should give a shit. And that comes with overthinking it. It's just like, no, just keep the essence of Superman up front and then just work it from there. Just keep it moving.
I agree.
But anyways, folks, check out Superman this weekend, and we'll be back. Peace out.
See you later.
That boy is Benny Hanna.